My name is Ethan Cole, and for nearly 2 years, I've been working the late shift at a Burger King just off the highway near my neighborhood. It's not the kind of job you brag about, but it pays rent and the hours work for me. I've always been more alive at night. While most people are winding down, my brain is just getting started. My shift runs from 10 p.m. to 4 a.m. And after midnight, the place is usually dead. A few drunk customers, the occasional trucker, and long stretches of silence broken only by the hum of fryers and the buzzing of fluorescent lights. That's when it started. One night, I was working the drive-thru alone. This wasn't unusual, we're always understaffed after midnight. Around 1:30 a.m., a car pulled up to the speaker. A male voice came through, calm and completely unremarkable. Large double Whopper with cheese meal. Coke. I punched it in without a second thought. When he pulled up to the payment window, something felt off. He rolled his window down only an inch, just enough to slide his card through. The windows were heavily tinted, pitch black. I couldn't see his face, not even a silhouette. I handed him his receipt and waited for him to pull forward. Instead, he drove away. At first, I thought maybe he misunderstood the layout or accidentally took the exit. I stood at the second window holding his food for a couple of minutes, expecting him to come back around. He never did. Eventually, I set the bag aside and went back to work. Later, when my shift slowed down, I ate the food myself. Free Whoppers aren't exactly rare in fast food. People bail on orders all the time. I forgot about it. A week later, it happened again. Same time, same voice, same order. Large double Whopper with cheese. Coke. Same routine at the window. The card slid through a crack in the glass. I handed him the receipt. He drove off without taking the food. That's when I remember thinking, okay, that's weird. Still, I chalked it up to coincidence. The third time erased all doubt. By then, I recognized his voice instantly. I already knew what he was going to order before he said it. And sure enough, the same thing happened. Paid, left. No food. At that point, I knew it was the same guy. And honestly, I wasn't complaining. Every 4 or 5 nights, usually between 1 and 3 a.m., I'd end up with a free meal. I even started joking to myself about it. Like clockwork. I'd glance at the drive-thru screen and think, is tonight the night? Then one night, he said something new. It was around 2 a.m. The store was silent, except for the buzzing lights. His car rolled up to the speaker. Same order. But before I could respond, he added something that made my heart skip. I hope you've been enjoying those Whoppers, Ethan. I froze. That's my name. I don't wear a name tag with my first name visible. It's not posted anywhere customers can see. There is no possible reason a random drive-thru customer should know it. For a second, my brain just shut down. Then I leaned into the microphone and asked who he was. I asked how he knew my name. I asked what he wanted. I must have repeated myself 4 or 5 times, my voice getting sharper each time. He didn't respond. I heard his engine rev hard, tires screeching slightly as he sped away. This time, he didn't even stop to pay. The rest of my shift felt unreal. Every car that pulled up made my stomach tighten. Every shadow outside the window felt like it was watching me. When my shift finally ended, I drove home with the radio off, replaying his words over and over in my head. When I got to my house, my heart dropped. There was a piece of paper sitting neatly on my doorstep. It was handwritten. I know what you did. You have 3 days. My hands started shaking as I read it. I felt nauseous, like someone had punched me in the gut. I stood there for a long time, staring at the note, trying to figure out what it meant. I couldn't. I'm not hiding anything. I don't have enemies. I'm a regular guy working fast food and trying to get through life. Whatever he thought I did, it wasn't real. I didn't sleep that night. I sat on my couch with the lights on, waiting for something to happen. Nothing did. The next night at work, he came back. This time, he didn't order food. He told me to grab a pen. Then he calmly gave me an address someplace on the outskirts of town I didn't recognize. After that, he said something that almost made me laugh. You have 2 days to bring me $10,000. I don't even have a fraction of that. I decided to ignore it. I figured it had to be a bluff. Some kind of twisted prank. 3 days later, a rock came through my window. That's when I realized this wasn't a game. And whoever that man was, he wasn't done with me yet. After the rock came through my window, I barely slept. I called the police the next day and told them everything. Without proof, there wasn't much they could do. I stayed away from work for a while. When I finally went back, the night shift felt wrong. Every car made my chest tighten. Every voice sounded familiar. But he never returned. Days turned into weeks. I started to believe it was over. One night, while closing up, I found a receipt sitting on the counter. Fresh. Time-stamped 2:14 a.m. Large double Whopper with cheese. Coke. Paid for. Never picked up. On the back, written in shaky handwriting, were 4 words. You're still working nights.